Hello, Jarrett Lau here with Profitable Properties Boston. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about the purchase process. And what do I mean by that? So let's just say you've worked with me, you're educated, you're ready, you're knowledgeable, you're comfortable, you know what the market's like, what properties are worth, how much you're going to get for rent, right? And you're ready to pull the trigger. All right, let's go through the process a little bit. Number one, we're going to figure out those areas that you're going to be looking into purchase. And as I mentioned in another video, the ABCs, right? Which area are you comfortable with? A really top area, middle ground area, maybe an area that's up and coming, right? Depends upon your preferences. Once we figure those out, we're going to go on the hunt. And when we go on the hunt, that doesn't mean just looking at MLS, that's where the majority of properties are, but we can even be more aggressive and send out mailers, go door knocking, whatever it might be if you love a certain area. If not, we look on MLS on a daily basis. And as soon as the listing comes up, we're going to make a call to that agent, set up a time for you to be able to walk through that property, work the numbers together. Once we walk through that property, we're going to figure out if it needs any repairs, renovations, so I know all your expenses up front. Right? We're going to be able to guide you on how much you would get for rent, make sure that the timing works, right? And then we're going to put an offer to purchase in. An offer to purchase is something where it's a piece of paper where you're telling them how much you're willing to pay, how much you're putting down, any other type of contingencies that you might have, such an inspection or mortgage contingency, right? And you'll provide pre-approvals or proof of income with it, and then you're going to be able to provide it to them and be able to talk with the agent. Now, here's the thing: not every single offer, even though it's written the exact same, might be considered the same, and that comes down to the story behind it and the agent that you're working with. Relationships are huge in this business and in any business. So you want to find the right real estate agent that has those connections, that understands the nuances of a deal and what might be important to a seller. It's not just the top amount. Sure, that work goes into play, but I've played plenty of deals for both myself and other clients where it happened for them because of the relationship and understanding the needs of the seller. So you want to work with an agent that understands that as well. This offer to purchase, right, gets submitted in, and you might go against other people and might be the only one. You give them a deadline to be able to respond by. And that deadline, typically they will respond by it, and they will either counter offer, give you a number that is in between the asking price or the price that you offered, and to be able to say, all right, is that something you're willing to take? And it's a back and forth process, right? And sometimes it's one time and they accept it. Sometimes it's 20, 30 times, and different terms can change from closing dates to amounts. And you want to have a real estate agent to be able to help guide you and negotiate through all those different nuances. After you have an accepted offer to purchase, typically what it ends up happening is the next step is a purchase and sale. The purchase and sale is typically drafted by the seller's attorney and then reviewed by the buyer's attorney. Now, you don't have to have a buyer's attorney review it, but it's always highly suggested. At the end of the day, the purchase and sale is an overview of all the terms of the agreement, when it's going to be sold, any other nuances of it. And once that's reviewed, it's typically about 10 to 14 days, sometimes faster, after the offer to purchase is accepted. And within that timeline, any other contingencies, such as inspection contingencies, radon contingencies, pest inspections, things of that nature, except for mortgage, which comes later, is handled during that timeline. Once all those contingencies are met, or if there isn't, the purchase and sale gets signed, you will put additional money down as well. And that's typically 5 to 10% of the purchase price. I forgot to mention that in the offer, you will also put $1,000 down to show in good faith that you are, serious about this deal. So purchase and sale is done. This is when, if you are not paying in cash, you're going to be able to make sure with the bank that you're going to get everything in line to be able to obtain the financing needed, right? And once that financing is obtained, they're going to give you that clear to close, right? All the attorneys are going to work together to make sure that your title is clear and everything is good, right? And everything is going to be lined up in the sense that you have a closing date, both the buyer and the sellers meet, agents come as well typically, everybody signs the documentation, and then it gets recorded at the registry, and you then own that investment property. So if you or anyone else you know is looking for an investment agent to specialize in finding you a profitable property, guide you through every single step of the process, know the nuances, and find that right property for you, please think of Profitable Properties Boston